All right, take a look at the main section of your Schoology course. And I'm going to start with the updates section. And when I click on this, I am taken to a place where I can essentially give updates to my students. And from here I could say, don't forget about the test tomorrow. Or if I have other, adult participants, I could leave some sort of information. You have your rich text editor at the top where you can do some editing. You can also attach a file to this. So if I had a PDF or something that needed to go with it, I could attach a link. I could get something from my resources. I could do an audio or a video recording right within Schoology. I can make a poll. And keep in mind that Schoology polls are pretty limited. There's no way to keep them or save them. Schoology polls essentially allow you to get some feedback on one item. So for example, I could say, on a scale of 1 to 5, how well did you understand the content from today's lesson? And that would not be something that I could archive or keep, but it would give me quick feedback. And I could also copy this post. One of the things I'll point out about making updates is that you have the ability to, if you're connected to Twitter or Facebook, you can connect your updates directly to Twitter or Facebook so they go there, but you also have this bell option. And what the bell option does is allow you to post this comment. So it goes down in our feed down here, and I can always edit it. If I don't like it, delete it. I can comment on it or I can like it. And this commenting and liking option, you have the ability to adjust for students. So if you do not want students to post in the updates page, you can adjust that in course options. If you do want students to post there, that would allow them to comment on any of your updates. But what you can see is when I clicked on the bell over here, I made this an announcement. And what that does is, even if I navigate to a new page in Schoology, such as the materials section, it allows that announcement to stay at the top of the page. It's a great way for communication. You certainly only need to do it if you have something that students absolutely have to see, or you don't want them to forget, or something like the test tomorrow. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that for now. Now we are back to our materials page, and I just want to quickly talk about the contents that are in here, because really this is the contents of your entire course. So anything that you put in here will live in this middle section, the materials section. What I've done here is I've created folders, and within my folders I might go ahead and create folders. I might have other content in there, links, pages, so on and so forth. And we do that by adding materials. Our first option is to add a folder. I'm not going to go through the whole steps of this, but here you can add a title, color, you have ability to add a description, you can put images here. You can also make your folders visible or hidden. So if you still want to work on your folder, but you don't want your students to see it or participants, you can just hide it. You can make it available after a start date or available during a date range. But keep in mind, if you make it available during a date range, once that range is passed, that folder will close, and anyone who missed the content will not be able to access it unless you make it visible to them. You can also add assignments. So assignments, keep in mind, are something just between you and a student. So if I had a piece of work that I wanted a student to do at home, they would submit it to me via Schoology, and I could grade it, give them feedback. We can essentially have a running dialogue on that assignment, but no other students in the class would be able to see that. I can create tests and quizzes. I can add files or links. So if I need to add a PDF, I can do so, or I can add a link to another website. I'm going to caution against using this too much, because you don't want your Schoology course to become just a content repository of PDFs and links. Instead, I would consolidate that stuff into pages. Think of pages like a Word document or a Google Doc, where you can put a whole bunch of different content on there. You can put images, you can embed videos, you can put links to outside resources and PDFs. Really, it's a way to keep all of your content in one place. Rather than clicking on 3 or 4 links or videos, I can put them all on a page. Discussions are just as you assume. It's a place for students or participants to have a discussion with one another, with the teachers in the course. The good thing about discussions is you can also embed videos, you can embed things from other resources like Padlet. You really have quite a few options when working with discussions. And our media album, I'm going to click on that real quick, is a way for you to have students add media or images into your Schoology course, and essentially it makes a photo album. So for example, let's say my students are working on a science lab report, And I might say, take a picture of step 1 of your lab process and upload it to the media album. And every student would take a picture, and every student would then be able to see the lab process for each student in the classroom for part 1. I could do this with several things. I can have students create introductory videos when they first come into the course. I can have them take pictures on a field trip. Anything that I want to showcase with other students, could put into a media album. You can put images and videos in media albums. I'm going to skip add a package because that's something you're not going to use. I can import from my resources. So if I have content that's stored up here, we already talked about our resources, I can import it from there and put it into my course. Our next option we have over here is called, we have an option for student completion rules. And what that allows us to do is require a student to complete one task before moving on to the next. So I could set up student completion rate here, and I could say that a student must complete or view or do whatever with all of the contents of the introductory folder before they can move on to Schoology Basics folder. I can also do that with content within a folder. So I could set up completion rules just for this folder and say a student has to view this, submit this assignment, or take this quiz and score a specific amount before they can move on. It is a great way to do some self-pacing, but also a little bit of differentiation within your course, and to find out which students are really getting which skills, or which students are able to move along through the course on their own. And I can also save this entire course to my resources. So if I get done with the course, I have all the content I need there, I can quickly just click this button and it will save all of my course material that lives right here into my resource section.